find out what makes us happiest. It's just this way at the Dim Carnival. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're glad that you are once again talking to us and listening to us. I guess you talk to us in a way. You feed our brains collectively. But anyway, this week we are going to be talking about our second installment of the second installment of the Bizzar double album. And we intend to talk about the tracks 5 through 8 off of the album, which are Mr. Happy, Radio Stars, My Axe, and If, and hopefully we'll get to all those. I don't see why we wouldn't, but you know what? That's never stopped us before. But what I wanted to do, guys, since we foolishly we foolishly spent the episode after Thanksgiving talking about our favorite Halloween candies. So I wanted to do a little equal opportunity holiday business and talk about our favorite Thanksgiving items and treats and morsels and just drop shit everywhere.
Broke my pen.
Oh no!
Thinking about Thanksgiving treats.
He was thinking about pies and turkeys so much that he just snapped his pen clean in two.
That's right.
Like, ooh, that succulent turkey.
I've never been a big fan of turkey, guys.
Yeah, but you don't dislike it. Right?
No, I mean, I will eat a small piece ceremonially.
Wait, you don't do you not like turkey sandwiches or turkey cold cuts? Or
Sliced turkey is the business. Actually, turkey sandwiches are delicious. So the day of, I don't really eat the turkey. It's the turkey sandwiches after.
Leftover turkey, yeah.
Now that's
toast
good
up
business.
some bread and put some turkeys on the breads.
Put some salt on that shit.
Yeah.
Cranberry sauce.
I hate cranberry sauce. Whoa.
Oh, it makes such a great condiment for the sandwich.
It's nice on the sandwich, a little bit on the sandwich. I can't just eat cranberry. There's some cranberry sauces that are good, but just that jelly can glop is no bueno.
I was gonna say, are you guys canned or are you fresh?
Yeah, I my wife makes a cranberry Jello. That's good. Like a cranberry Jello salad that has mandarin oranges in it. That's very good. But no, just that cranberry sauce that retains the form of the can, and someone just serves it in a green glass dish, and it's just unadorned, uninterrupted, just a can shaped cranberry. I mean, it's traditional. My family was a big part of that, but I never enjoyed it.
Right, my family are all white trash, so they love that shit.
Same.
I like either way. I like either.
That's okay too.
I'm saying that you don't have to be white trash to like the canned shit, but my family are trash, and that's why they like it.
Just straight up. Well, Ryan, let me ask you, if you don't like turkey, except for leftovers turkey sandwiches, which is the best way to enjoy the turkey, of course, what is your favorite dish or item or treat that you typically have at Thanksgiving?
Well, I happen to know that we have listeners the world over, and they should know that I am in Southern California. That's where I grew up. So it might not surprise anybody that I was a vegetarian for a really long time. Well, I guess, I don't know, long time for me, 10 years. And so lots of Thanksgivings, got used to not eating the meat. And actually, pretty much right away, I realized I didn't really care about the meat that you get at Thanksgiving anyways. And I'm all about those sides. So all of the different kinds of potatoes I'm into. Sweet, and I like the I like the legit, like, buttery sweet potatoes, and I like the canned with the marshmallows melted on top too. Love that. Green bean casserole, that is top player. I got my family.
Wait, the green bean casserole that has like the mushroom
French's
soup
onions.
and the stale ass onions drizzled on the top.
I mean, maybe you use stale ass onions, but mine are crispity crunchy.
Peanut buttery.
That too. Love that shit. Maybe like, I don't know, 10 years ago, a long time ago, I convinced my family to have Brussels sprouts. And everybody was opposed, and I got them all on the Brussels sprouts thing. So now that's an annual tradition. So that's the thing about my family, is that's our annual family reunion. Every year for the last 20 years, my whole mom's side of the family gets together for Thanksgiving. So it's our big family reunion, and it's 3 days of nonstop cooking and eating, tons of delicious food. Really, really great.
9 pies and a cake.
Yes. Okay. So we even get to desserts, my man. Okay. So my mom will make 4 pies. Every year she makes 4 pies. I mean, minimum. Two pumpkin and two pecan.
Pecan, nice.
And I will say that I love pumpkin pie, and I look forward to eating the pumpkin pie, and I always do, and I put a little bit of whipped cream on it. But the pecan pie, and especially when your mom makes it, when she puts all that love of her heart in it for you, because you're her son, and she loves you more than anything that's ever existed in the world. And you can taste it in every bite, because that pie is fucking amazing. I don't like anybody else's pecan pie but my mom's. So there we are.
It's hard. I love so much of food on Thanksgiving. It's probably like my favorite year. And I try not to. I mean, like, I try to make sure I don't eat any stuffing all year. Like, I want to make sure I only eat stuffing around Thanksgiving and Christmas. We'll still do it on Christmas too. But it's different because my mom doesn't usually make a turkey at Christmas. But my mom has always been traditionally for us makes a big turkey and a spiral ham. So I get double the meat, and it's delicious. I definitely like the ham better than the turkey, but and they both make great sandwiches the next day too. And so I always enjoy that. But I love my mom's potato salad, and so like all that food together, it's not even one. I can't say I like one more than the other. It's the combination and the way my mom makes it too. It's perfect. The Hawaiian
rolls, King's Hawaiian.
Those rolls. But she makes other ones too. So there's a variety, and I just sit there and I just take the little rolls and I open them up and I put a piece of ham and I put a little bit of dressing. I just like make little sandwiches forever, and I love the green olives on the side. That's my favorite. All that shit. And I'll eat so much that I don't really eat sweets until like 4 or 5 hours later. I'll finally go eat pie, and my mom usually makes a variety of pie. And my sister-in-law also will make some pies too. And I usually just go for the fave.
Or pumpkin.
Yeah, man. I feel you on that. The dessert, it's hard. Sometimes I don't get to it even that night, but I'll have pie for breakfast in the morning. And breakfast pie is some pretty solid pie.
You'll have a pie for breakfast.
Well, and my mom knows, like, I'm not joking about how my mom makes these pies for me. Like, ostensibly they're for the family, but she knows that this is my jam. So I will usually she makes those 4 pies, and she will set aside one of each pie or hide them in a separate fridge. Like, if there's one in the garage or whatever, she'll hide one of each of those pies so that I can dip into it the whole weekend. Boom. That's what Mom's does for you. And it's my family's fault because my mom runs the whole show, and so nobody's none the wiser.
Good job. Well, I do have to say Brussels sprouts are the shit. I do love turkey mostly because of the day after and week after turkey sandwiches. That is something that I enjoy a great deal. And I do like it's only since I have been married, really, my wife's family, that I have had a lot of exposure to pecan pie, and pecan pie is delicious. It's really fantastic. And and it's sort of hard to go back to the pumpkin farm after you've seen the pecan city, if you know what I mean. So I mean, I'm not opposed to pumpkin pie, but I mean, they're pecan, man.
Have you ever had derby pie?
That's
Kentucky
a
derby pie
that you make out of a horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a pecan pie, and then I think it has like a brownie or chocolate something on the bottom, and then they use bourbon in it. Yeah, I think it's partial. I think it's brownie on the bottom, pecan pie on top, but they make it with bourbon. Yeah, it's outstanding.
Sounds good. So what I was alluding to earlier, Ryan came to Thanksgiving one time at my aunt's house when my father's sister was still alive, and their family lived in Salinas, and that particular Thanksgiving, my aunt always made a huge to do. Like she made her and some of her kids would make just this huge Thanksgiving meal, and there would often be just pies and cookies and homemade bread and homemade like pumpkin bread and just all sorts of stuff. But one year in particular, for no specific reason, Ryan, you were there, right?
I don't believe I was there. No.
Oh, I thought this was one of the ones where you came, but for no particular reason, my aunt decided to make 9 pies and a cake. Just for us, just for our family of like 8 people. It was pretty great. So there was always like, they would always make pumpkin pie because pumpkin pie is a must, and they would usually make apple pie. And then she made me a chocolate cake because when I was younger, liked cake way more than I liked pie. There was a large stretch of my childhood where I didn't eat pie at all. I just ate cake. But this was well when I was past the only cake age, but she still made a chocolate cake for me. And every year she and her daughter would make my dad a mincemeat pie. And he was the only one who liked mincemeat pie. It was like from his childhood. He loved it to death. No one, like, just the word mincemeat sounded so gross that no one else wanted to even like sample it. It was just like, oh, they just make my dad a mincemeat pie to be nice. And the year that my dad died, he died 2 days before Christmas, and they had made him a mincemeat pie for Christmas that had already been made. So when we all were, down in that area for Christmas, the mincemeat pie was there, and my sister and I sort of split it up, and we're like, let's just, take this back to our house and we'll eat it in memory of him. And we called each other after we'd eaten the pie. We were like, that was incredible. Like, this was absolutely delicious. I don't know why we haven't been eating mincemeat pie this whole time. Turns out we're the idiots. And it's great. It's like raisins and stuff. It's not, there is suet in it traditionally. I don't think there was suet in this particular one, but it's really, really scrumptious.
Yeah, my dad my mom makes a mincemeat pie every year for my dad as well. And my dad, again, only person who'll eat it. Mm-hmm. And, but then I started eating it and I loved it too. And I was like, holy crap. But I figured that out probably about 15 years ago that I liked it. And he gets mad. He's stop eating my pie. Cracks me up. So I get bigger pieces.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so why don't we just dive into talking about Insane Clown Posse?
Hey, all right. Well, that's cool. I feel pretty happy, so we can.
Yeah, so let's ride a bike. Ching! Let's go ahead and listen to the first track this week, and that is Mr. Happy. So if you haven't listened to Mr. Happy, go ahead and take a listen right now. Guys, it's a pretty good song.
Guys, I like all the songs this week quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely adore this song. I love it so much.
Rub baby oil on your butt cheeks, guys. And then slide on the...
Shake your butt.
Yeah.
And slide where? What does he say there?
Well, Genius says according to Genius, it says slide on the top of the table.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what he says.
I don't believe that one bit. Yeah.
It sounds like he said like slide down the tightrope or something.
I always think it ends
slide down the
toes
telephone pole. I don't know. I don't know what he says, but he says. I know he says rub baby oil in your butt cheeks. I know that's what he says. And that might be a Big Money Hustles reference. There's no way of knowing.
How about this? There's one contributor to this track. These lyrics on Genius. And it's got one upvote. It says, Insane Clown Posse makes another messed up song as usual. This time with more pop theme, but still messed up. You can say it's a gruesome pop parody.
Nice. Nice
comment, guy.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't really even notice that there were words at the beginning. Just it was kind of like gibberish or something. I guess I never really listened that closely. Honestly, didn't notice. But I will say that this song, when it came on, the first lines, I'm kind of fat and I sweat a lot. Got a big pop of laugh out of my girlfriend.
Nice. But that's the only bad, quirky things he's got. Well, that, and maybe the whole murdering aspect.
I really feel like it's an amazing intro.
Yes. Yes. Incredible. Yes.
Just get it right off the start. And it's like each line after that, like it really keeps going. Very, very strong writing in this.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's about a guy. It's about a guy who loves people so much that he has to live life without them. And that doesn't make any sense, but fuck you. This song's about him exclusively. And so this is a song about a murdering mentality without an explanation. It's about a guy named Mr. Happy who rides a bike, and it doesn't have a seat, so he just sits on the pipe thing.
Okay, so when he says murder, murderous, murderation, I automatically went to Choco, and you mentioned that last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, about Choco's poetry. And then later in the song, he actually says, I'm like the Choco of my neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Huge shout outs to Choco, who became a very important in-canon part of the Insane Clown Posse legend.
Right. I mean, like having a whole segment on their documentary, that probably felt pretty good too.
Steve, I want to know how happy does it make you when Shaggy screams, "Oh, it feels so good every time I murder, I get happy."
Yeah, give me chills. It's so great and absurd, and I think that this song embodies like all the happiness of their murdering in a way that when I first listened to Malenko, when we talked about that a long time ago, and I was like kind of at first being like, wow, this is kind of creepy and weird. And by the end of the album, I was like, oh, this is great and funny, but it's still kind of creepy. Like this takes all of the creepiness out of it in a lot of ways. It is just like this super fun romp adventure. I mean, he gets me with the like, talk to himself and licking his pennies at Denny's and then the other guy, don't go near that guy, he's weird. He's got a French fry hanging out of his beard. Like,
and isn't this the song that starts with the Shaggy and his friend not wanting to talk to the weirdo?
Yeah.
And
right.
Supposedly this is the weirdo that they're talking about. He's like, hey, give me some money.
One more for the road. Gonna crack her open.
So great. He's like, oh, I'll just reach in and get it.
Yeah, this song, when I finally first was like starting to tell my friends that I really like ICP and was showing it to people for the first time, this would be the song I would show people. And I was always surprised when no one still liked it or they thought I was weird or crazy for thinking this was a great song. I had a coworker, she since doesn't work with us anymore, but I'm still good friends with her and we text a lot. And when we started doing this podcast, she took a listen to one of the episodes, and
she's like, I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah, no, it was funny. She said I had a really soothing voice, and I just thought that was hilarious because she actually had come and watched the band I was in play, and so like having her see me like sing like a monster and scream really hard and all that to then tell me that I have a soothing voice, I thought it was just hilarious. But because she had listened to an episode, she'd never heard a song, so of course I sent her this song. I found it, I sent her a link on YouTube. And she just wrote back, and she's like, "Is everything always about murder in their songs?" And that was like the only question she had. And I was like, "Mostly,
Yeah."
But yeah.
She's like, wait a second. I think these are insane clowns.
And
a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. So it's just funny, like, in a 15-year period of me showing this song to people and being like, eh? And everyone's like, but I love it. I love it in song.
And I just want to state for the record that I have just finished suggesting edits to this track because the choruses are happy, happy, happiest. I'm happy, happy, happiest. I'm happy, happy, happiest. I'm happy, happy, happiest when I murder, murder, murder you. I murder, murder, murder you. Not happy, happy, happy. It's gone. Murder, murder, murder. You
What?
are.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're going for in the.
Yeah.
What?
They're like,
That's
how
so
could we
weird.
make it as wrong as possible?
Trying to fix it, guys.
Wow, that's pretty bad. That's pretty wrong. So he says in the last verse, I believe it's the last verse, second to last verse maybe. Yeah, last one. He says, "I'll plant red flowers. He's gonna plant and grow out of the side of your head," and that he's got flowers all over the backyard in the form of a Joker's card.
Yeah.
And I was thinking at first, I thought, ooh, maybe this is like it's another clue about what's coming because the next one is the Wraith, right? And the Wraith is red.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that, but there's a lot of red that appears in there. I mean, the last ones were red too, so he could have been talking about that, I guess.
Sure. Also, he can just make it the shape of any Joker's card out of red flowers.
I felt
But
like
it is a nice little wink.
I thought there was something there.
Yeah.
Because he starts the line with red flowers, like it doesn't need to be, doesn't rhyme with anything.
Right. This is such a good song, guys. They tell such a good story. The lines are all very good and clever and fun. It's maybe the funnest song about a guy who likes to murder everyone that's ever happened.
How do you guys feel? Do you guys have thoughts about the Kid Rock line?
I mean, it's funny.
Do you feel so? This is the first of two Kid Rock references or mentions that we're going to talk about this week.
Yes.
And I feel like they're both sort of not friendly. Like they're critical but still nice.
Yeah.
It's not that they're trying to be out and out like rude.
Like
to
the
Kid
line,
Rock.
the Kid Rock lines on these two tracks are in no way like, oh, that motherfucker. I mean, like, especially compared to like the Eminem stuff they have on these albums.
Sure. And so what I'm specifically meaning in this song, this line is like that they say it's in his song, it's get in the pit and try to love someone, and in this one, it's kill someone.
Mm-hmm.
And so my only thought is that that's critical of him being a little soft, This is a song about murdering.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that could be. According to Genius, Kid Rock had previously dissed them in a song called "You Keep On," and he says, Kid Rock says, "Don't call me Joe because the Joes I know can't even flow," which seems like a bad rap.
I mean, it's Kid Rock. Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't know the beef as well between them, but I do know that I think I remember from the book that him saying that they're cool with Kid Rock or whatever. I think they're cool with. They don't give a shit about anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There was some beef there. Some trash talking.
I want to give a big shout out to Xanoffs, which is a very effective antipsychotic because it helps wean murderers off of murdering. It does work because Mr. Happy is down to only killing 3 people a day.
I love that moment. It's a great, well-produced moment.
Yes. The pop of the medicine bottle coming off, and the shaking of the pills.
And his delivery, it worked.
Well, because he's like, respect the fact that I love to kill, and he's like calming himself down.
Right.
Xanoffs. So he's graduated from califalestrian to Xanoff.
Yep.
And also, I like him saying that chainsaws and butcher knives are passé. That's so 90s.
So 90s. What were people what were killing with in the 2000s?
It's funny though, because he says he doesn't want to get blood everywhere, so that's why he doesn't use those things. But then he turns around and says, but maybe he'll run them down on a car.
Yeah.
and he knows that gets messy.
But he's doing it for the birds at that point. Yeah.
For the birds.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man is for the birds. Shout out to the greatest comedy set of all time.
I also love how he says, "Don't you see that I love you, idiots?"
Yes. All of it's good, guys.
Yeah, it's just
all of it's good.
I think we've almost gone over every line.
Yeah, basically. Should we move on to the next song? Or
yeah.
I'm down.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next track, which is Radio Stars, which is not really a song, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go ahead and take a listen right now. This isn't really a song so much as it is like a collection of 3 song-based skits, because it's about, there's a faux British narrator who talks about how sometimes it's so tempting to become a big pop star that idiots will do anything to try and sell out and assimilate and get radio play. So he's like, look what happens when a couple of dumb idiots try and become radio stars. And there's like little interstitials of them rapping like ICP and saying like, no, we need to be bigger than this, so let's try something else. The first thing that they try is what they refer to as bounce shit, which is sort of, I think they're taking a shot at crunk here, but really what it sounds like to me, the first song it sounds like a Rough Riders song to me.
They do say, I don't know what any of the first note that I wrote is, what are the words? I have no idea what they're saying here. But they do say crunk. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Come on around, man. Ride, man. I don't think they're really saying specific words. But,
right. I think the only one that I'm sure that they say is, I'm on the radio.
Yeah. Give us the radio play. Radio play.
Yeah.
But do you have any particular thoughts on this specific attempt to become radio stars?
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
The crunk song. Do you have any particular thoughts on the crunk song? How about you, semi-truck driver? I hate it.
I feel like it's always a motorcycle when you think it's a semi-truck.
Well, it sounds like a big engine. That's all I hear on my end.
It's funny. I mean, like it's entertaining. It certainly made me laugh. And I guess I just saw that they're making fun of everything, and it was just, I didn't put a lot of thought into what this song is. They spell it out pretty well, and it's just like a big, like going along with some of the selling out stuff they've talked about throughout the album, and I feel like it's culminated all to this song. I like it because it is like a skit, and we haven't had a real. I guess there was the skit in between Mr. Happy or before Mr. Happy, but I mean, in a way, I guess it kind of is a throwback. It's not, but it just kind of reminds me of the Shaggy Show in a way, where you got like segments, because like I just picture it being like watching a VH1 Behind the Music, which I believe was pretty popular back when the song was made.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So I like to entertain that, and but I don't have any super deep thoughts about the crunkiness.
Well, here's what I will say about the second track that they try, which is like a garage rock, indie rock. Obviously, there's someone specifically they're trying to emulate here, but I will say this about the second song that they sing on this track is that if there was not a gay slur in this specific segment of the song, it would fucking rule.
Yeah.
Jody fell in love with a college girl. She had a backpack and a ponytail. Like, the line, she drinks disco lemonade and cherry jello is so on point with, like, what was happening in, like, radio rock at that point is very good.
Hell yeah, man. It's an unfortunate use of a homophobic slur.
As always is the case.
Right. But yeah, man, I was going with Weezer. I don't think it sounds like a Weezer track, but I feel like that's what they're trying to go for with Buddy Holly Glasses.
I agree. Also the third track here, guys, very notable for the second time we've heard Shaggy 2 try and sing. And he does a much better job than on Rainbows and Stuff.
Well, I thought it was funny that he's like, can you sing? I can't either. But you just sang on the last track, my man. We just heard you sing.
I can't sing. Yes, I can. What's great about the third one, the Clown Boy remix, what's great about Clown Boy is that it's very clearly like Shaggy is fucking dying through the whole one, and they like left it in because like it's very clear, like you're not gonna get better than him cracking himself up like 3 different times. It's like I don't give a fuck.
He has to get out. Like drops the mic immediately. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I think the third one is the meat, right? This is the good shit. The song, the music is good.
Between the sheets.
He's, bless his heart, man. This boy's tone deaf. He is nowhere near the correct notes.
Yeah.
It's so sad. But I love it. And I feel like, what it made me mostly think of is the sampler that I listened to for Jekyll Brothers. And I know they put out other samplers, for other albums, which I never got to hear. And I assume that they did the same format where they play a clip of the song and then they wrap something else in between it. Which I loved. I love those samplers. I used to listen to that sampler over and over again just because even though they didn't play the full track, I loved what they said in between. And I think that's the strongest part of this as well. Like when they come back in and you hear what they're trying to do and they're commentating or whatever, I feel like that is a really fun, awesome moment. And everything else, the other verses are kind of like commercials or filler, but the good stuff is them talking about it or whatever. Except for this one. This one hits it out of the park. I wish Shaggy would do a full 90s R&B album.
Yes.
Please make that album.
Girl, we make radio songs, radio fans can't go wrong. Yeah. It's all very, very good.
Yeah.
At least I tried, though. Yeah, it's all... And, like, it's very stupid. And it's like, when I heard this song again for the first time in, like, 10 years or whatever, I was like, oh, yeah. And it wasn't like... I mean, like, Mr. Happy is, like, a song that I'll probably always listen to. Like, Radio Stars is a very skippable track on this album, I feel. Not that it's bad, just like there's no reason to listen to it more than a few times.
Sure.
But you know what? They eventually decided to stay with the wicked shit for life, and aren't we lucky? So this song ends up being like behind the music of ICP, like a fake behind the music.
Right.
Anything else to say about this track, or shall we move on?
I'm trying to find it. The last thing that he says is that, you know, once they can't succeed, the narrator comes in and he says, these 2 dim-witted idiots decided to stay with the wicked shit for life. And that line, dim-witted idiots, is that I feel like that's what I have as our introduction on the podcast, the Podbean podcast page is three dim-witted idiots. Is that what I said? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, I thought that was cool. That was totally coincidence, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, hey, cool, that's us."
Whoops.
We're those dim-witted idiots.
That's us. Is that you? That's us. That's an inside joke for just me and Steve. Shall we move on to the next track?
Sure. I just really like when that's the transition though, that he says that they stick with the wicked shit for life, and it goes right into the next song.
Yeah.
And that laugh.
Alright, so let's listen to my axe, and if you haven't listened to it yet, go ahead and take a listen right now. Guys, I love my Fago. I love Pills, Shaggy. I love my buddies, my Hatchet Man, but I love my axe. Because my axe is my buddy.
He says, I love pills, but I mean, that's what the lyrics say here on Genius, but I always thought he says NyQuil pills.
Yeah, he does say NyQuil pills.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Shaggy. I don't know, guys, is this my favorite song on the album?
You tell me.
I think it might be.
But, gee, I don't know. It might be. The one, like, quasi-fun fact about my ex is that on July 10th, 2017, Richard Newton, a Boston area juggalo, went to the top 40 radio station Kiss 108 to make a request for the song My Axe in person with an axe in hand and other weapons, resulting in a 3-hour police standoff that ended without injury and the suspect hospitalized for psychiatric evaluation. He wanted to hear my axe, guys, and he took his axe to the radio station to be like, no, look at it, see?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, not as I'm assuming that he attempted to use it for something. Yeah, bad idea, guy.
Yeah.
Although I understand why you want to hear the song. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I think I've told this story on the podcast that a person that I tried to meet up with, or I did meet up with at an ICP concert that I had known through the ICP chat room, tried to get into the venue. When I got to the venue, he was standing outside, and this was before the era of cell phones, so it was amazing that we even found each other. And he was like, oh yeah, I gotta go back to my car. They won't let me in with my axe. He's got a full-on, like, Paul Bunyan axe. And, and I was like, oh yeah, man, you can't bring that in there. That's a weapon. Dave. I wonder what Dave's up to.
No one knows.
I know I'm not going to say his full name, but that should be enough context that it's you, Dave. You should get in touch, man.
Yeah. This is, man, the chorus guys, the choruses of this song are real good. And I like the juxtaposition with, like, how, like, measured and restrained the verses are. Like, very, like, deliberate delivery, and then, like, the choruses are, like, music that's, like, crescendoing and diminishing, and, like, 3 different, like, sets of people, like, all talking, like, crosswise over each other, and, like, just, like, woo! Like, it's, like, just, like, it's basically the sonic equivalent of, like, a bunch of people running around swinging axes.
There's, like, a wolf howl in there. It's incredible soundscape. To me, it sounds like, like a delusional person, a person that's not in control of their thoughts. It's a runaway train in there. Those voices are talking to him, and it's fucking amazing, dude. And I love the chill kind of bouncy verse. His delivery, the format of of how he delivers the lines. His pronunciation is so great. Everything is so good.
Yeah, this is one of the ICP tracks that the DJ played at the Hallowicked show I went to in Anaheim before the ICP went on, because it was a song that they didn't play. So it was cool. Like, the DJ was spinning this song, and obviously everyone knows this song, and, like, he would, like, play swing 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 and then mute it on chop 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 and let the crowd just say chop chop chop, and that was fun. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Bill, because I want to give a call back to episode way back, episode number 4 of the Dim Carnival, when we talked about Chop Chop.
Nice.
Yeah, but way back then, because they do the swing 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 chop chop chop, except they
That's
actually
right.
take the Ice Cube sample, I believe it is, versus here having Shaggy sing it. And also, I forgot to say, when he's tone deaf, how the hell is he doing these screams so well? Is that why they're always pitch shifted? Like, people have to, like, squirt him into the right key?
Yes. They have to squirt him into the right key.
Okay, in the verse, I love after the delivery of the line. There's two different sound effects that you get to hear really clearly that are at the very end of the beat. And it's a tick-tock, like a tick-tock tick, from a clock, and then there's a crickets sound that you get to hear, and that shit is like butter for my soul. When it gets to those parts of like, oh, it like kind of jacks me up, carries me through the verse, and the crickets come in, and you're like, fuck, girl, this is so good.
Yeah,
Really
another extremely solid song.
Yeah.
When you guys go to take medication, do you ever go Tylenol?
Yes.
Ouch, 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 ouch.
I do for this song. Because of this song, I love it. I'm always like...
Tylenol. As you're eating them, Tylenol.
Well, when I'm looking for them, when I'm like, I got a headache, I need to take some Tylenol, then I'll just start going Tylenol. I like I don't know if it's like considered a bridge or whatever, but I like how the trees get a chance to. I always to me it always seems like the trees are talking like about why did the hang people off their branches in evil ways and stuff, and I mean it's thrown in really kind of weird, but it works really well, and I like that little.
I agree with you. It's a third emotion that's different from the verses and the chorus. I think it's more serious, but it's like what would it be like? Peanut butter and jelly and Nutella. Like jelly and Nutella don't really go together, but when you have the three and you eat them in the right order, it's all delicious. And so when they go from that and you're like, ooh, we're kind of serious. It was fun before and groovy, but now we're talking about, racist killing. But then it cuts back to the verse again, and you're like, oh, it clicks back, like it still goes. I feel like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shall we move on to the next track?
Well, one thing I wanted to point out is that one particular line, because we touched on this last week, they mentioned Jesus, and in this verse or in this song, he says that he and his axe will bring the devil to his knees. So I felt that's like pretty obvious, like another throw in about what's coming.
Well said.
But also the Richie's the devil, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Aren't
right.
Aren't they talking about killing a rich person?
Oh, did they mention the rich person before that?
There's maybe not.
A Richie is the devil, and when I wind him back. No.
I guess it could go with the previous verse that's before the Tylenol, where he says,
"Yeah,
I'll make your white ponies red." I don't know what the third line. I don't think that these lyrics are correct. What he says there, but then he says he's gonna fuck his mother on his grave. Huh. Okay.
Oh.
I thought it was on her grave, but here the lyrics are on your grave.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Right. Well, I don't know. These guys?
These guys? Come on. All right, shall we move on to the next track?
Last one.
Last one, guys. All right, so this is a song called If, which is all about hypotheticals. So if you want to take a listen, go ahead and do that right now. So, somewhat similar to Questions, which is about questions. This is another song about wondering why. This is a song about wondering, what if? What would happen if? Just a nice, easygoing song about pure speculation.
Yeah, man. I mean, they asked the question right at the front. They're like, we understand that you can't transpose your personality into other animated or inanimate objects. But what if you could?
Animated.
Right. What if you could?
What's infamous? This guy El Guapo. He's probably the biggest thing to ever come out of Mexico. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that you can make all the Three Amigos jokes references that you want.
I will. I'll do it. So, guys, tell me your thoughts on this song.
I like it. I always thought it was funny.
Yeah, I think it's a fun time.
Yeah, I like the music. It's got a good little thing going with the music, so it's not boring.
It's got that warbly, like mid-century sci-fi sound that I love. I don't even know what you would call that thing.
Mid-century sci-fi.
So you think of like black and white sci-fi TV, and the alien ship is coming down, and it's like,
oh yeah,
A theremin?
Like a theremin? Yeah, like a sound that a theremin would make. Is that a theremin that they're using?
Spaceship sound. Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Cool, man. Theremin.
I mean, it's probably a sample of one.
Right.
No, it's Shaggy actually playing a theremin.
They got all kinds of weird instruments. He's a tech guy.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah, a theremin, you play the electricity in the room, right? So, I mean, that sounds like something Shaggy would be into.
Yeah. Oh man, what a great way to say it, Ryan. You play the electricity in the room. You're not wrong. You're actually correct.
I mean, that's my understanding of how a theremin works.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think that's a correct understanding.
I feel like the only way that I can talk about this song is to just specifically mention the lines that I like.
Okay.
Because there's not really, it's just it's like a stream of consciousness kind of thing, right? There's no narrative or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
So the ones that I thought, I mean, there's so many that I love. They're all great, and there's really good like, I don't know, I can't think of a way to phrase it, but where they do the thing where there's somebody on another track that, like, a backup voice that echoes something, a similar thing or whatever. Am I wrong about that?
No, I know what you mean.
Oh, because
there's sound effects, and then
they submit the premise, and then there's like a callback of a voice or something that's emulating that thing that they're doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like when he says the radio station, 100.2,
yes,
103, yeah.
And that's one of my favorite jokes, one that I wrote down, because he's like, or not the radio station, that if I was an airline pilot and they do the like radio control,
yeah.
And then he's like, if I was on John Denver. Is it too soon to make a John Denver's dead joke?
No.
If it wasn't too soon in 2000, then it's not too soon in 2018.
Well, okay, so speaking of too soon, Jam Master Jay. So Jam Master
Jay wasn't dead at this point.
He was alive when this was recorded. Yeah, I want to make sure they know that.
They weren't insulting a dead man at that point.
Right, when he was alive, that was an incredible diss. Very, very well done. Nothing but respect in death.
Nothing but respect for my Jam Master.
Okay, another thing I really like, we get the Jamie Madrox's deep voice 2 times, if I'm not mistaken, on this track. 2 different people he plays with that voice.
And he also does the, okay.
Yes, Jenny is back.
Yeah. She's definitely a Juffalo.
Okay, so he mentions one of the things that I want to talk about is he calls out some names apart from Jam Master Jay. He says he calls Alyssa Milano, which what I want to say about her was the amazing facial reactions that she gave during Brett Kavanaugh's testimony is incredible. She's sitting right over his shoulder, and she's got some great reactions to some of those answers that he gave or whatever, some of the statements that he made. I think that this is one thing that you mentioned, Bill, referenced earlier, the Spin Magazine.
Mm-hmm. It's a great line. It's an incredible line. If I was Spin Magazine, I'd put a mirror on the cover and be like, fuck us and all our fans, even this motherfucker. Yeah. It's a really, really good line. It's like a line that really stuck with me, especially because like they were in Spin at the time.
I want to talk, I feel like I've been talking a lot on this track, and I do want to hear, what else you guys have to say about it, but there was one that I want to get out of the way, and that's the DOC.
Mm-hmm.
And so, first he mentions DOC, and if he was DOC, he'd be like, man, this is bullshit, and he does it in the voice, and I'm sure that's what they're talking about, right? Because he got into a car accident and lost his voice. And then later he says Father MC, and he'd be like, now what happened? And Father MC, I didn't know who Father MC was, so I looked him up, and he apparently is famous, or was made famous, for a track that he put out that featured a new singing group called Jodeci. And so he's basically credited with putting Jodeci on the scene with a song that's called Treat 'Em Like They Want to Be Treated, or something like that. And if you guys haven't heard Father MC, it's probably worth a listen. Jodeci are incredible on it, as you would probably expect. And I listened to like maybe 3 different Father MC tracks to try to figure out, because his voice sounds very familiar, but I couldn't place it. Ultimately, I didn't get to it, but he's got a really incredible look. He's got a really wild haircut, and a dye job to boot. And he is probably the worst. He doesn't even rap. The guy doesn't even rap. I don't know how he got famous. He does have a great sound, like for that era. I can hear it. I don't recognize the songs, but I can just hear it like coming out of the radio. But the man does not rhyme anything. His whole shtick, I guess, from the 3 tracks that I listened to, is just like saying words on the beat, and like intentionally not rhyming any lines ever.
Well, you're talking about before the accident, right?
No, this is Father MC now, not DOC.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, DOC. Well, actually, I don't even know. The only thing I know about DOC is from the Nothing But a G Thing video. When he points over when he says, "My homie DOC," and there he is standing there.
Do you want me to tell you about DOC?
Yeah, well, let's talk about DOC one. Let me finish because there's a couple other things.
Go for it.
So, I highly recommend you guys watch the video for "Treat 'Em Like They Want to Be Treated," or "Treat 'Em Like They Want." Jodeci's great. At the very end, there's a cameo by one of the Fat Boys. And then the most incredible thing is there are a bunch of cutscenes of dancers, male and female dancers, that are throughout the video. And they're just doing choreographed dancing. It's like not even part of what's happening in the video. And one of the male background dancers is P. Diddy. And this is like his first thing, I guess, or whatever. One of his earlier things, where he got to be in a video. And so I'm curious about how that plays with Father MC, that he kind of introduced P. Diddy and Jodeci in the same track. And then they obviously went on to do a bunch of things, and he kind of just got left behind, you know?
Yes.
But so tell me a little bit more about DOC if you know more.
Well, he was supposed to be in NWA. He was briefly in NWA, and he was supposed to be part of that crew right when they were getting big. But he was in a bad car accident, and it fucked up his voice box. And he, for a long period of time, he couldn't rap anymore because his voice was all fucked up. So he was supposed to be, like, he was on the verge of being in, like, one of the biggest rap groups of all time, and then got in a car accident. So that's why the raspy voice saying, "Man, this is bullshit."
I didn't realize that was at that time. I knew he had been in a car accident, but I didn't realize that the timing was that bad.
Yeah, the timing couldn't have been worse. And it's even like DOC's even in the movie Straight Outta Compton, which I think is a fantastic movie. They're about to go on their tour, and like I don't know if it's Easy who rolls up and he's like, "This is my boy DOC," and it's like, "What's up?" And then like later they're like just like calling it like, "DOC was in a car accident. He can't rap anymore, man." Like that's like the extent of DOC being in the movie, but at least he's acknowledged.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. The only things that I know about DOC is that he was really heavily involved with Dr. Dre when like the Chronic came out, working on the Chronic, and I know he worked really closely with Eazy-E. I think he helped write or even wrote Easy Does It. That he was really instrumental in a lot of these big albums that we know, and kind of in the background or whatever, ghostwriting some of the
like
stuff.
The legend about DOC is that like at the time that he was gonna join NWA like permanently, is that like at that time before the car accident, he would have been the most skilled MC in NWA, because like all those guys, like, especially Eazy-E, much has been made of the fact that Eazy-E like wasn't a rapper when NWA got together, but like, you know, Dre and Cube were like way early in their careers at that point, so like DOC would have been like the elder statesman, like the freshest MC in that group. But you know, it wasn't gonna work out. It didn't work out.
Cool, man. That's awesome. That brings it all together. That's really cool.
Yeah. What up, yo?
Okay, I'm actually on DOC's Wikipedia page now, and apparently he dated Erykah Badu for a while.
Oh shit. Okay, he won.
I mean, well done, sir.
Oh, sorry, I got distracted, guys, because I'm trying to make edits to the "If" lyrics, but it's not letting me because someone formatted these lyrics improperly when they were writing them. So it won't let me make saves because it's like, you have an uneven number of parentheses, and I'm like, I don't have any. Well, this is the other Kid Rock diss. If I was Kid Rock, got my feathered wolf hair. So that's the second time they say wolf, but it says woof because he looks like a werewolf wearing a thong sometimes.
Right. He sure does. Now he looks like Dr. Phil, apparently. From an image I saw on the internet.
It's true. It's great because ICP once again has the last laugh because they're suing the FBI, and meanwhile Kid Rock's like the stalest possible dude. Like Kid Rock couldn't possibly have less cred in the rap community.
As he drapes himself in a rebel flag.
Right. Fuck your rebel flag.
If I was Andre the Giant, this is how I'd be rapping.
Which I like that line because it's not even how Andre the Giant sounds.
Like not at all. That's what makes it so brilliant.
This is the first Andre the Giant reference, famous first, I guess. There will later be another Andre the Giant reference when we get to Forgotten Freshness, Volume 3. But right now, you just have to wait.
I do like how they say if I was a slider, I'd slide out your butt. We'd float in your tent. Look what?
Gotta admit, that one also got a good chuckle out of my girlfriend.
Aww.
But a shaking her head chuckle.
Also, like the balloon, like if I was a balloon, I'd be like pop, like the
yeah.
Yeah. I also like that he says when he says the bumper on your car, he says bumpler.
Oh, does he? I didn't notice.
Well, that's how I always hear
it. I like when they reference Chewbacca. If I was Chewbacca, I'd get a fresh ass fade and just like the Chewbacca nose in the background.
But it's not even
yeah
how Chewbacca sounds.
Okay, guys, if Chewbacca got a fade, would he wear it like this or like this?
Mm-hmm.
The second.
It's a good question. That's the biggest if of them all.
I want to know your guys' answers. What do you think?
I don't know what you're talking about. Did you say something?
Does he fade the top of his hair like a haircut, or does he fade from the feet to the head? Because his hair goes all the way down.
I think that he'd get one of those like triangle fades, but it would start like in the small of his back and like go up to his feathered wolf hair.
Okay. So maybe he'd be like shaved down to the waist. So he'd like have a shaved triangle in his chest as it comes up.
No, it would
or would it be a square?
No, like the 0 is at like the small of his back, and then like up around his shoulders would be like a 2, and then like he'd have the triangle flat top, like the angled like
okay,
like the Arsenio.
I got you.
And then from the waist down, just completely shaved, just. Hanging bear dong, just like, and in both sense of the word bear.
What does a Chewbacca dong look like?
It's barbed like a cat's penis. but real long and girthy.
Oh. I didn't really want to know that answer. I found out after.
You feel free to edit that or make it the stinger or whatever.
Oof.
Well, guys, the .103, that's not how FM stations work.
Right, what do they know about radio?
That's the name of the station, not the frequency. Tune it to .103. Any last comments on this track before we wind it on up for the week?
I think I'm tapped out, man. Oh, the London cop cars go woo-doo, woo-doo.
It's true.
There's a shout out to Vanilla Ice. They don't make fun of him.
They got Vanilla Ice and London cop cars on both of these albums.
Can't touch this too. No, I know, that's a different song.
Yeah, because in this one he says, fuck you, I'm still paying.
Right.
If I was your wooden leg, I'd still get a hip hop.
Very good line. So let's go ahead and wrap it up there for this week. Once again, solid week. I liked this week better than the first week that we did off of this album, but next week we will wrap it on up with, well, possibly, because the last track, like 25 minutes long. Right. Let's at least plan on doing the next 3 tracks off of Bizaar with 2 Z's, which is Let's Go All the Way, Let It Killa, and Juggalo Paradise. So we have at least 2 real good songs to talk about next week. So until then, you can email us, dimcarnival@gmail.com. Leave a review on iTunes if you would be so kind, because it helps us out very much. If you like the podcast, tell a friend. Tell your neighbor. Tell your doctor. Maybe we'll get some Xanoffs prescribed to you. And follow us on Twitter and Instagram, Dim Carnival. You can follow me on Twitter at Sundown Motel, or Instagram. All the social media is on the same name. But until then, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And hey, I got the right